What's up everyone, my name is Frank. Hope I'm having a great day today. We are going to continue this series of Mega Modz tutorial videos, and we are getting technical today with the macro remap controller. I'm going to be showing you guys how to switch between the 5 different sub modes as well as adjust custom timings. But we will be putting our focus on sub mode number 5 because with the recent release of NBA 2K21, I've been getting a load of comments from you guys struggling to be consistent with those green shots, and there is a way to be consistent using sub mode number 5 and custom timings. I also get the pleasure of debuting for the very first time Mega Modz latest macro remap controller for the PlayStation 4 now comes with trigger locks, guys. This controller and all the controllers on the Mega Modz website is fully compatible with NBA as well as any other game that is on the market. As always, I'll leave timestamps down below in the description so you all can't skip to whichever part of the video that you want to see first. If you are looking to purchase the controller that I am about to show off in today's video or anything else on the Mega Modz website, use code SPARA at checkout to save 15% off of your purchase. And just a little friendly reminder, I do stream every Saturday and Sunday starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm also going to be leaving a link to join my Discord down below in the description, so feel free to join up, ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. Now, with that being said, let's get into things. All right, everyone, school is in session. Before we get into the tutorial, we have to learn the basics, guys. We have to learn what the 5 different sub modes are, how they work, and we are also going to have to learn which steps come first in order to set up our controller properly. Getting to the 5 different sub modes that we can have, sub mode number 1 is called simple remap. When we go and press the macro paddle, it is going to mimic a stock button press. Can't get simpler than that. That is the default mode. Sub mode number 2 is called turbo function. When we press and hold the macro paddle, it is quickly going to press and release a stock button that we have assigned, and we are able to adjust the timing at a custom value on how quickly it presses and releases the stock button that has been assigned. Moving on to sub mode number 3, it is called turbo double tap. When we press the macro paddle, it is quickly going to double tap the stock button that we have assigned, and we are able to add a custom time how quickly it does that double tap for us. Moving on to sub mode number 4, it is called turbo triple tap. You probably already guessed it. When we press the macro paddle, it is going to triple tap the stock assigned button for us, and we are able to adjust the timing at a custom value on how quickly it does that triple tap for us. Moving on to sub mode number 5, it is called continuous press. When we press the macro paddle, it is going to press and hold the stock assigned button for a given period of time, and then it's going to release off of it. And we are able to adjust a custom timing. We're able to adjust when it releases. So you guys could probably put 2 and 2 together how we could set this up for NBA. We're going to set up a custom timing for sub mode number 5 to release at that perfect moment to get us that green shot, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that in just a second. But before we actually get into the tutorial, we have to learn what steps come first. So step number 1, we are going to assign a stock button to our macro paddles. Step number 2, we are going to apply the sub modes. Step number 3, we are going to adjust the timings. Now let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to having some fun. Let's get to unboxing first, and then let's get into the tutorial. Time to get to unboxing. Everyone, leave your guesses down below on the color scheme. I told Mega Modz to surprise me. The only people I've seen this controller is Mega Modz and a couple of my co-workers, and they have said that it is a radical design and unlike me. So let's go ahead, cue that drum roll. Let's take this out of the box. Holy cannolis, yes! That is definitely a radical design. Let me take this out. This is definitely not like me. I'm you know me, black and red all the way. But this is very, very cool. Look at how the color changes depending on how you're looking at it. Very, very cool. The back is a matte finish, actually carbon fiber. Very, very cool. I like it. Unlike me, but still a very, very cool controller. Thank you, Mega Modz. I appreciate that. So right here we have the macro remap paddles. Over here we have the mod switch, which is used to configure our controller, and then down at the bottom is the LED panel, which signifies what we are doing configuration wise. And then up here we have the trigger locks. I believe down is regular. Yeah, look at the play right there. And then up, if we flick, oh, it's actually nice to flick up. Okay, cool, satisfying click. So that is trigger lock activated. Oh wow, look at that play. It's like less than half. So that's all the way down, and then that's with the trigger lock on. So very, very cool. This is definitely going to help those who aim and shoot with L2, R2. Definitely put on those trigger locks. You can't get quicker than that. But if you do want that pro tip from me, you guys know I aim and shoot with L1, R1. You can't get quicker than that on off button, but both are going to be extremely useful in game. So I'm going to go ahead. I am going to clear up the table and we'll get into the tutorial. Let's get to setting this controller up. We are going to follow the 3 steps that I spoke about before. So step number 1 is configuring our macro paddles. Now, in order to do that, we are going to press and hold the mod switch. Then we're going to press the macro paddle that we want to be remapped. And then we're going to press and hold the stock button that we want to be mimicked. So I am going to remap square to our right paddle. Now let's put this into practice. Press and hold the mod switch, press and hold that right paddle, press and hold square for a couple of seconds. Controls are gonna vibrate, it's gonna flash in green, you're gonna release, and our top right LED remains lit in blue, which signifies that our square button has been remapped to our right paddle. So step number 1 is done. If you want to remap the left side macro remap paddle, you're going to follow the same exact steps. So let's move on to step number 2. In this second part, we are going to be choosing the sub modes. Automatically, when we remap the macro paddles, it defaults to sub mode number 1. It'll be up to us to then configure if we want another sub mode. But in order to do that, we are going to press and hold the mod switch. Then we're going to press and hold the corresponding paddle that we want to change the sub mode for. Hold that configuration for about 2 seconds. You'll see the light bar is going to flash and going to put us into the sub mode picker. We're going to use L2 or R2 to decrease or increase sub modes, and it's going to signify on our light panel right there. Depending on how many LEDs are lit up, that signifies the sub mode that we are choosing. And then to lock in that sub mode, we are going to go ahead and press that mod switch again to save everything. So let's go ahead, put that into practice, and we are going to configure our right paddle to sub mode number 5. So press and hold sub mode, press and hold that right paddle for a couple of seconds. Light bar is going to flash just like that. And now I'm using R2, L2 to decrease sub mode 1, sub mode 2, sub mode number 3, sub mode number 4, and then sub mode number 5. I'm going to press that mod switch, going to vibrate, it's going to flash just to lock in that configuration. If you are having a bit of trouble setting up the sub modes, just keep in mind that after 3 seconds of no user input, it will time you out. So keep in mind, you do have to be pretty quick at pressing the buttons. Now let's move on to step number 3, which is configuring custom timings. You are able to configure the seconds, hundredths of a millisecond, and then tenths of a millisecond, which gives you plenty of adjustability. In order to do that, we're actually going to repeat step number 1 and step number 2, which you should already know. Let's say we're adjusting timing for our right macro paddle. Press and hold that mod switch, then press and hold the right macro paddle for a couple seconds. A light bar is going to flash and it's going to put us into that sub mode picker, which then we're going to use L2, R2 to pick the sub mode. It should already be configured in our case, or in your case as well. Then we're going to press that mod switch and then press that PS button quickly to lock in that sub mode, but to also bring us to the next step, which will allow us to customize the timing. You'll see the light bar is going to remain lit in white. It's going to wait for our input. If we click the right macro paddle, it's going to allow us to adjust the off button timing, the pause between button presses, which is not what we want. We want to actually press and hold our macro paddle, which is going to allow us to adjust the length of the press. So press and then release, we want to adjust that. So on button timing. So once we do that, it's going to move us on to the next section, which is going to allow us to adjust the seconds just by using L2 and R2 to increase or decrease the seconds. And you'll see it light up on the light bar. Once we're satisfied with the seconds, we are going to press that mod switch one more time to move us on to the next section, which allows us to adjust the hundredths of a millisecond. Same concept, L2, R2 to decrease and increase the hundredths of a millisecond. And you'll see it on the light bar. Once we're happy with that, press the mod switch one more time. It's going to allow us to configure tenths of a millisecond again with the L2, R2, increase or decrease the tenths of a millisecond. Once we're happy with that, we are going to press that mod switch to lock everything in and save our configuration. Everyone take a deep breath, and we are about to put what we just learned into practice to adjust the timings. For the test that I've been doing, I've been using LeBron, and the timing that I found that worked the best for the green shots is actually 0.64 seconds. And later on in the video, I'm going to explain what can affect that timing. But let's go ahead and apply a custom timing of 0.64 seconds for our right paddle, which is remap to square on sub mode number 5. So let's go ahead. I'm going to press and hold mod switch, press and hold that right paddle for a couple of seconds. It's going to put me into the sub mode picker. Make sure our sub mode number 5 has been picked. There we go. Press mod switch, press PS button. We're going to move on to here. I'm going to press and hold the right macro paddle, which is going to allow me to adjust the seconds tab. So I'm going to keep going back. This is 0 seconds. Press the mod switch to lock that in. And I'm going to go ahead and adjust the hundredths of a millisecond. So we're going to go all the way up to 6. Keep on going. That is 6 right there. Lock that in by pressing the mod switch, and this is going to allow me to configure tenths of a millisecond. So I'm going to go all the way up to 4 LEDs lit. Press that mod switch, lock it in, everything vibrates, and we have just successfully configured a custom timing on sub mode number 5 on the right macro paddle. So now it is time to put this custom timing to the testing game. The value that we just set up of 0.64 seconds is for LeBron. Now this timing will not work for all NBA players because every player has different play styles, different stats, different strengths, and different weaknesses. So all that has an effect on green shot timings. So you guys have to go in free practice mode, test out the different timings for the players that you shoot with the most. And I know this is an ideal situation. In an actual game, you're using multiple players. So I highly suggest you set up both your macro paddles on the controller to 2 different timings for the characters that you shoot with the most. There are a few things that can throw off the green shot when playing. One of them is your character movement. Is your character moving or stationary? Second is ball placement. It's always best to have the ball placed in your hand and feet planted on the ground. If you go and initiate the shot when you're dribbling the ball and the ball is just hitting the court, as you see up on screen, I go to activate the shot, but the ball's not even in my hands yet. The shot meter's not even active yet. And by the time the ball comes into my hands, my timing has run out and I kind of just fake that shot. But then I go to shoot again and I get that green shot right away. So very important, ball in hand and feet stationary. You also want to be in your character's hot zones. It's going to help you getting those green shots. Another thing that can affect green shots is actually you and how you press the paddle. I know certain situations, very stressful, very high paced. You don't fully press the shot button. It's going to initiate an early shot. But let's say you press and hold for too long. It's going to be a late shot. So you want that fluid motion. You really want a hard press, hear that click and release. Something as quickly and smoothly as that. Once you hit that first magic shot in practice, you'll understand that motion that you need to do on the paddle. Something very quickly and easy like that. You'll get those green shots more consistently. Also, where you're positioned on the court and depending on the situation that you're in, you might need to slightly press that macro ball for a bit longer, like a split second longer, to get that green shot. and you'll know what I'm talking about once you get into practicing and in different situations. With all that being said, I know it is very tricky, very complex to get that green shot to be consistent, but if you guys need any help or have any questions about what I spoke about in today's video, leave a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. I am also going to be leaving the link to join my Discord in the description. I'm going to set up an NBA section so you guys can come in there, ask questions. We're going to help each other out. If you want me to set up custom values for the players that you guys are using, I'll be more than happy to do so. I'll post everything in the Discord as well. Mega Modz will be starting a forum on NBA, and we'll be uploading the different values that you guys find and that I find. And if you guys need even more help, I am going to be leaving the links to join my social media down below in the description, so feel free to hit me up. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. It's always a pleasure. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, make sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and share with your friends. Greatly appreciated. If you are new to my channel, check me out for the very first time, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with my content, and don't forget to press that bell to become part of my notification squad. Paratroopers, you guys freaking rock. Thank you so much for all the support. Everyone, have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this video, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.